Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how you can copy text even when you can't select text on your Mac. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 2,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about it, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now usually when you want to copy text from something on your Mac, you simply select the text, copy, and then you've got it and you can paste it somewhere else. But every once in a while you can't select text. For instance, you may be looking at an image, not a text document, and you can't select the text on the image. But let me show you several ways that you can get around this. So as an example here, let's say I've got an image on the web. So it's an image, not text. Text you can usually easily select and copy, but not so in the case of an image. So the first thing I want to show you is that sometimes you can select text even though it's an image. This is thanks to a feature in macOS called Live Text. Live Text will look at images. It will look at them in Quick Look. It will look at them in various apps. And it will look at them in the Safari web browser. And it will try to determine if there's text there and let you select the text if there is some. Sometimes you can do it and sometimes you can't. In this case with this image, it doesn't look like you can because you could see the pointer changes to a magnifying glass. And if I click, it enlarges the text. And clicking again goes back. So it looks like I can't select. And in addition to that, if I try to select the text anyway by clicking and dragging, it will try to drag the image. So it looks like I can't select the text. However, sometimes persistence pays off. If I try a few times, I find that I can click on some text and select it. Now note, when you're doing this, what's actually happening is your Mac is interpreting the text in the image and figuring out what it says. It's not a feature of the image. It's not a feature of the website. It's a feature of your Mac itself. So this is a handy function here. Now when I select all the text like this, I can simply do Command-C to copy. Now I can bring up a text edit window or Pages or something else and Command-V to paste. And you can see it pastes the text. It's actually looking at the characters in the image. So that means it could get something wrong, especially if the text is handwritten or in an unusual font or very low resolution. So you definitely want to check the text over before you use it in something important. Now let's say this didn't work. You just couldn't seem to be able to select the text in any way. This can happen. The web page can be built in such a way that you just can't select the text. Or maybe it's not even an image. Maybe the text is actually on the web page, but the web page itself is specifically prohibiting you from selecting it. So how can you do it then? Well, you could take a screenshot of it. And the screenshot itself is an image, but now you've got that image on your Mac. It's no longer part of the web page, and you can copy text from it. So I'm going to use the default screenshot shortcut, Shift, Command, and 5. That's the default keyboard shortcut for screen capture. And it brings up the controls here. I've got the ability to capture the entire screen if I want. I can capture a selected window or a selected portion. I think this is the most useful in this case because I can capture just the area I want. Under Options, I'm not going to worry about where to save it to because I'm not actually going to save anything. You'll see in a moment how I do that. And then for the timer, set to None. Show Floating Thumbnail, it's important this is on. Remember last selection, if I want to keep recapturing the same portion of the screen, then I may want to turn this on. Show Mouse Pointer is off. I don't need the pointer getting in the way. So now that I've got that, what I need to do is I need to select a portion of the screen. You only see these crosshairs if you've got this button here, if you have this turned on. So now I'm going to drag and select. When I'm done, I can click Capture. Now once I do that, I'm going to see the floating thumbnail at the bottom right. I need to click that before it goes away. After a few seconds, it goes away and saves to that default location. But I don't want to save this. Instead, I want it to just appear here. And now I can do things with it like mark it up, which isn't what I want to do here. Instead, I want to select text. And notice I can move over the text here. And if I double click a word, it selects it. And then I can drag and select the text. Now when I've selected it, I can do Command-C for copy. And now I've got it copied. Now I don't want to save the screenshot. So I'm just going to, instead of clicking Done, I'm going to click the little trash can or bin icon here. And that gets rid of it. It's gone. Now I can go into another app, Command-V to paste, and it pastes the text in. Alternatively, I can do Shift-Command-5 and then select the area. And I could also, after capturing and clicking on the thumbnail, then I can click this button here. What this button here does is it shows you where text is found. So if I click there, you can see how it selected all that text. And I get a copy all button. I could still go and select just a portion of the text if I want, or I can use the handy copy all button and then trash, and now I've got it in the clipboard ready to paste. Another technique you may want to do is to zoom in on the text you want. Notice how small this text is. It's kind of a miracle that it can even read this text and get the correct characters. But if I'm in a web browser, I can always pinch out with 2 fingers on the trackpad or use other techniques like View, Zoom in. I'm going to do that a little bit here so you can see now I've got the text. It's much larger on the screen. So now when I do the screenshot, I can grab this and you can see how it's going to do a better job of having nicer text in here. This will ensure that I'll get the best quality read of this text here when I copy it and maybe fewer mistakes. I could do the same thing with the iPhone or iPad. When you're viewing an image in an app, like say in Safari, often you can tap and select the text. Trick is to tap and hold down, and then you can select the text. And if you can, that's great. If you can't get it that way, you can still use the screenshot method. To take a screenshot on the iPhone or iPad, you want to use the volume up button and the side or top or home button, depending on which model you've got. And it takes a screenshot. Now you've got a little floating thumbnail like before. Tap that to bring it up. So now in the screenshot utility here, you can do a lot of different things. One of those is you can use the same live text functionality to select text there. But if you find that difficult to use, you've got the button at the lower right. You can tap that and then you'll get options here. You may not see the copy text button there because it may find links and other things and put buttons for that instead. I find it helps to use the cropping tools there to crop to what you want, like that, and then use this button. And then when there are no URLs or anything in there, you may find it's more likely that the copy all button shows up. And now you've got that. Any way you do it, you can use the trash or bin button up here to delete the screenshot so that that's gone. And then you can paste the text that you copied into another app. Now it works the same with the iPad, but that text button in the screenshot utility seems to be at the top, not at the bottom. So using either live text directly on the image or by taking a screenshot and using a live text with the screenshot, you can copy almost any text that you can see on the screen of your Mac, iPhone, or iPad. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.